Please note that this podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience and I already screwed up. And it contains offensive language and frank barking. And also adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Oh, sorry. I should get a sound effect though of like of a live studio audience. I think I had one. Maybe I'll put it in when I'm editing it. So if you're listening to this on Patreon, folks, listen to the actual one because I'll put in sound effects.
No, I thought that was perfect.
Hi, Frank.
What a train wreck.
Oh God. All right.
Should I try that again?
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. Please note, this podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience. And contains offensive language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
If you are looking for a link to a cute dog video,
whether the mushroom you picked in your backyard is safe or fun to eat.
Ooh, what about a hockey card purchasing guide?
Oh my God, that mushroom I picked was not safe to eat.
Oh no! This is not the podcast
for you. Please call for help.
I'm Sarah. That's Haley, and we're here to track it up. Track it up.
What's that?
Up. Nothing good. That's for sure. Oh, God. Before we get into some serious antics, why don't you tell us a bit about our sponsors?
Yeah. As usual, we want to give our Raise the Roof shout out to our amazing sponsors, Fansets. This episode is brought to you by Fansets. It is the place to get awesome pin collectibles. They have over 200 officially licensed Star Trek pins to pick from, with new ones coming out every month. Fuck. See all the pins and collectibles they have to offer at fansets.com. Fansets. Our pins have character. Like, literally, they are pins of characters.
Yes. I love it. Yeah. I just looked at their website, and they got some new Wonder Woman ones. And, like, from the movie, like the logo and the emblem.
Like Gal Gadot.
Yeah. And then there's the new Picard Daj. Jadzia and Saffron from Firefly.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Super cool. Hey, and there's some new stuff.
So good.
Yeah, there's some fun stuff. So thanks, Fansets.
Yay.
Okay. First section is roundtable. Roundtable discussion. Haley, how are you?
Hey, how's it going? Well, how many minutes do I have?
You have as much as you want.
I'm good. So as you know,
4-hour episode of Rewind.
Oh my God. I am a hero because I saved a hummingbird that I came across on my walk home from work.
Oh my gosh.
It was a fledgling, so it was still fluffy and it had a small beak. And I was like, oh my God, there are no fucking trees around here. I literally almost stepped on it. It wasn't hurt, so I just Googled what to do, and I cupped it in my hands and I walked home and I fed it some sugar water that I have in my feeders. And then literally I just hung out with it for 45 minutes. It was hanging out in my hand the whole time until it felt good enough to take off into the tree behind my place. It was so sweet and it was so awesome, but I'm also so thankful that it flew away because I was like, okay, now I'm a mom and I don't know what to do. And I have to find bugs to crush into the sugar water for protein. And I need to teach it to fly like that fucking movie with Anna Paquin and the geese. And I was like, I lived an entire life in 45 minutes. I was like, and then when it flew away, I was like, thank fucking God. And then I sat down and I was like, I miss some. Anyway,
and then you look down at your hands and they're in the Star Trek movie with Chris Pine where they're 4 times the size. I'm allergic.
Actually, the bird did shit in my hand before it flew away. So I was like, okay, you're healthy. You're fine. What else? I spent like 6 hours on the water yesterday. Went whale watching.
Ooh,
Didn't see any, but it was just so nice to be out there and so relaxing, and like we didn't talk about work, and it was great. Except for we did get caught up in these like fucking 4-meter swells, and I was like, "What is this? The Perfect Storm?" Starring I think Mark Wahlberg. Oh yeah, no, he's not in it.
No, he's in a different boat one.
Yeah, the other boat one.
The Perfect Storm had, Mark Wahlberg. Didn't it have
George Clooney? Yeah, I think so. And so I was like, what the fuck is this? But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And it was just like so beautiful. And oh God, we live in such a nice place.
I know. Nature.
Yeah. Nature, goulet. So that's about it. I mean, work sucks. Whatever. It's 2020. It's my job. And yeah.
You're busy.
So busy. I actually have to I'll do some work after this, but
yeah. What have I got? First, I have a podcast recommendation. I have been binging this since I heard about it. I heard about it on My Favorite Murder. It's by Payne Lindsay. He's the guy who did, for those of you who don't know, he did a different true crime that was kind of like a cold case, right? And he helps basically solve it. Anyway, this one is a new one that he's done, and it's got he's not really a host. He's kind of like a background, what's the word I'm looking for? Like how narrator. Thank you. It's Rainn Wilson, who we know from as Dwight or Harry Mudd. Anyway, it's people writing in like really creepy, unexplainable stories. And you get like 2 stories in an episode. And one was like somebody who there was a total glitch in the Matrix. And one was like a serial killer, close encounter. One was like just stuff where it's like, this is a story that I haven't told many people because they think I'm crazy, but here's the story, and it's told by the person, and it's called Radio Rental. And
Rental?
Yes, and I highly recommend it.
Radio Rental. I'm going to just add it.
You will love it.
I have 2 Glitch in the Matrix stories.
I have a Man in Black story. Should we share these right now? Do we want to have a creepy corner?
Creepy corner.
Creepy corner.
I think so. I think people like things. Sure. If they don't like radio.
Fast forward. Radio Rental. Okay, tell me your creepy one. Well, I was working at Mayfair Mall at that West 49 store that sells like snowboarding, escape stuff. Yeah. This was like 15, 20 years ago. Like it was a while. It was like, anyway, I was just like this guy, it was busy because I think it was getting close to Christmas. So it was kind of like running around trying to help anybody who needed help. And those who were like, I'm fine. It's like, sweet. I don't have time for you anyway. Bye. This guy walks in and he went to the back of the store and then kind of just like stood there and then turned and left. And at the moment I was like, don't ever forget this moment. This is, how there's always that mystery of the Men in Black that they say show up at like at UFO things and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. It was not Will Smith and it wasn't Tommy Lee Jones. This guy was like tall and thin with like whitish pale skin, bald, old. Think of Christopher Lloyd in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He had that same hat, that black wide brim hat, and like a trench coat that was like leather or like just like I think he had gloves on too, and he just kind of like walked in, and I think I even said like, hey, is there anything I can help you with? And he didn't say anything to me, and he just left, and I just remember being like, that's the one time in my life I might have a story about. What was that I just saw? And I remember watching him leave the store and saying to somebody like, did you see that guy? And they're like, no. And I was like, oh, just always stuck with me. Ooh. It was creepy.
That is creepy.
Glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah.
I love those stories.
Yeah. So I was 14 and I was at this is before I knew you. I had a different best friend.
Ooh. That's a horror story in itself.
Oh God. So I was hanging out at her house after school and her little sister was there and her mom was there. Oh God. Did you just pour like gasoline in a fucking like
down the wrong tube?
Oh,
go ahead.
And so we're all hanging out and we look across the street. And so she's got a big picture window in her house and we look across the street and the house across the street and their picture window, there are these bright red, like brake light, like stoplight red flames in their picture window. And we're like, holy shit, call your mom. And so her mom comes and she's like, Jesus Christ, they're on vacation. Like there's a fire. We have to call the fire department. So she calls the fire department and, whatever, 911, they answer and they're like, well, what's the address? And we look back out to get the address and the whole fucking street is full of like white odorless smoke, like fog. You can't see across the street now. It's like
Weird.
It's middle of the day, like summertime ish, and we're like, what the fuck? And so she just says, okay, well, it's across the street from my address. My address is this, and then all the smoke kind of dissipates somehow. The fire truck shows up. The flames are gone. Oh, just one, babe. I'm doing my podcast. Hang on one sec. Anyway, I'm trying to tell the story.
This is a good story. There's smoke and mirrors and who knows what.
Oh, anyway, and so they came, the fire department comes, the flames are gone. They touched the window, right, to feel for the heat. There's no heat at all. And then the fire department was like, next time call us when there's a real fire. And I was like, fuck you. And also an adult called, right? Like, because she saw it. Anyway, we don't know what it was, but it was
weird.
Super fucking weird. And another time my parents saw me in the house when I wasn't there.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
not a good one.
Creepy. That's
like
creepy.
they saw me, they were coming home. The living room, this is at their house, so I wasn't even living at home, and it was dark. They were coming home, living room lights were on so you could see through the window, and they just saw me standing looking at the mantle, and they're like, oh, Haley's here. Walk in. No, I'm not.
Oh God, that's horrible.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
There's a really good story like that on this radio rental of a guy who was out having a smoke and his girlfriend dressed in like club gear, like it was like, you fucking asshole. And then he goes outside and like 2 seconds later she's like, hey babe, like I went out to grab something. He's like telling her the story and he has it on video. She had a key to the apartment and it was her, but oh man, it's good. So check that out. What else is going on? There's been all weekend a virtual Star Trek convention put on by a guy named Ryan T. Husk and Sirach Lofton, who played Jake Sisko, and they've been hosting like all these different like videos. It's been so good. It's like, you know, like you're the same as me. We go through waves with our fandom, just like we go through waves of whatever we're into. Like I want to craft, and then it's like I don't want to craft ever again, and like or books or whatever, you know. Like so, like I'm so like in Star Trek right now because like after watching this, I'm like I have to watch this, I have to watch that. Like I saw a panel that had Mary, the 2 Klingons from Discovery. I'm not going to try and remember their names. Let's be honest. And then Dr. Bashir was on one, and Nana, and they've just been so good. And then there was one that was all different podcasts, and you know, good old Bill was on there, and of
course,
gotta love him. He
gets around.
Yeah, and yeah. So that's that. What else is going on? I'm trying to watch all 3 series now from the beginning and alternating between them. So I've watched some Enterprise. Yeah, and it's tough, but I'm gonna get there. I haven't fallen in love with any character yet, but I know it'll happen. I really want to love Archer because I think Scott Bakula is kind of he's a hunk, so I'm working on it. But
he's a hunk, but he's a bad captain.
Is he?
He's just not a very good captain.
Okay.
He's not very good. You'll see.
Okay. We'll see.
Just
Then watching Voyager. From the beginning, that's been a blast because then I'm listening to the Delta Flyers, which is like Tom Paris and Harry Kim, like the 2 guys that play those parts, doing a podcast that's covering each episode. So it's like I'll watch it and then I can listen to it and be like, oh my God, background. And then Deep Space Nine, I was like, I have to watch this again. And now I'm like, after listening to one of the virtual videos where they're talking to like the writers and stuff, like just everybody loves that show. It's everyone's favorite. And as I was watching it, I'm like, I gotta fucking watch the show again. Like, and I'm excited about it. So that's life. That's it. I went for acupuncture. She got mad at me. And
are you still damp inside?
She's like, you've been eating raw food. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. I like salads.
I know, it's the summertime too, and you have such a nice garden.
Right? Yeah, I've been like picking so much zucchini. I've got more zucchini than I know what to do with. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's that. And then I've made my cocktail and yeah. That's it. End of the show. Bye guys. Thanks.
Bye. Take care.
I got lots of wear a mask. I've got lots of Trek gossip for you.
Okay.
So let's start with lower decks. Lower decks. Two decks. Two decks. We have a date. August 6th. That's a Thursday. That is the premiere.
2020?
August. So like in a couple of weeks.
This year is turning around.
It's coming. We know it takes place late TNG.
Cool.
So the TNG DS9 universe.
Yep.
And so some of the new photos that have been released, like the phasers that they're holding in the holodeck, it kind of looks familiar. It looks like what we know from TNG, very nostalgic for the way they've drawn it. Yeah. We know it centers around the lower deckers, so not the actual bridge crew. So we get to see it through the eyes of those that are at a lower rank, which is kind of unique and fun, and how they don't have the details of the jobs that they're doing. They're just being told to do stuff. It's a half-hour comedy, so that's new to Star Trek. And their tagline is rarely going where no one has gone before. So it's like, yeah, we're going where everyone else is going. Like, we're not fancy. We're not a special ship. So a trailer's been released. I think I sent you an email that had a link to the trailer. So
I think so. Yeah.
So check it out. It's super funny. I laughed. The trailer was great. I'm so excited. Awesome. And one of the big exciting things to come of that is that Trek Geeks will be doing a podcast for it on part of their Discovering Trek, because Discovery's not on right now. So they're going to be doing Lower Decks, and I'm going to be on it. So
yay!
Me, Bill, Dan, and a guy named Casey. So that's,
so cool.
So I'm super excited for that.
Fun.
Picard season 2. Spoilers or information. They've broken down the story into episodes and are starting the scripts and writing.
Okay.
There's possibilities of Brent returning in some way, like maybe like as Noonien Soon's son that we saw. Expect some more Starfleet this time, because there wasn't really a lot of Starfleet that they
I know. I missed it.
Mr. Jonathan Frakes said he'd love to return and put the uniform back on. LeVar Burton has pretty much confirmed that he'd be back, and Gates McFadden is kind of dropping hints too that maybe she might be back.
Ooh.
So that's and then somebody in one of the chats for this con that's been happening kind of said that it sounds like it's been confirmed there's a season 3 for Picard. So I don't know if that's true, but I knew they said 2 for sure, but we'd like 3.
Oh, okay. So yeah. Maybe that was the rumor I heard as well. And do you, is Whoopi still, remember when he went on The View or whatever?
Yeah. She's coming back.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
And Jason Isaacs, who we know and love as Mr. Lucius Malfoy, said that he would love to return to Star Trek and play the Prime version of Lorca. And he just loved being a part of the show so much. He loved the cast and family that he's like pretty much like talking to the producers being like, get me on. But he's kind of being picky about it, because he's like, if I'm going to come back, I want it to be good too. Like, you guys are known for your good writing and stuff. So maybe it could be in the Section 31 show, or maybe the other series that's going to come out with Pike, or it could be a short trek. And he said he'd happily go on a starvation diet to slip back into the uniform.
Oh, cute.
Speaking of short treks, have you watched any?
So I watched the one, right?
Oh, yeah. We talked about this.
Yeah. Tilly met Poe.
Yeah.
That's all I've seen.
Oh, show. Okay.
Yeah. But it's still there. I know it's available. Mm-hmm. It's on Crave. I have that. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll watch one before the next podcast. Mm-hmm. But I did enjoy it because it was just like a little peek into like a side story, which gives a little bit more context. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You'll get
seen them all?
I've seen them all. Well, actually, I haven't seen all the one that was Rainn Wilson as Harry Mudd in The Escape Artist, and everyone said it's super funny. So I don't have Crave, but I have Sci-Fi TV, so I might be able to find it.
On demand maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
Cool.
I was going to do a new section in here called the Enterprise Corner. But then I was like, no, I'm going to do the Voyager corner because I'm rewatching that. But now I'm rewatching everything. So I'm just kind of like, I don't think that there's that much time.
Now it's going to be like the 4 corners.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything else I need to say about that. I've just been really enjoying watching it. It's kind of like my early morning with my coffee thing.
Nice.
So we're doing your episode tonight, the one that you wanted to watch.
That's right.
And before we get into a really good, awesome, kick-ass synopsis by you, I want to quickly touch base on what Bill and Dan said regarding what we covered last week, which was phantasms. Because I forgot to do that last time. Dan had said, skip it. It's a well-known established fact that data dreaming episodes are not usually very good.
Oh, what?
I know. And Bill said, skip it. I hate data dreaming episodes. This one is no exception.
Oh my God. Tell us how you really feel.
They need to watch it again. I'm not going to be mean. Yeah. I'm just going to say fucking
I really
make yourself a mint cake and watch it.
Have at her.
Have at her.
Jeez.
Yeah. It was so fun. I thought it was
fun. Liked it.
I think it was great. I had a great time.
Oh God, me too. It was such a nice departure from the crap of season 1.
Ugh. Lest we forget.
Ugh.
All right. So what's the episode?
The episode that I chose for us to watch this time around is a little ditty called Qpid, with the letter Q, P-I-D.
Oh my God.
Which
clever.
We just discussed is a play on the word Cupid. C-U-P-I-D. Fucking, I had no idea until this very moment. Mark this day in time. Fucking Sunday, July 19th, 4:14 p.m.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ. Anyway,
amazing.
I am such a fan of Q and of Q episodes. Mm-hmm. Can you bring people back from the dead?
Only people I like.
Cool. So I was very happy to watch this. And so without further ado, may I?
Please.
Synopsis? Okay. It's going to be read, so just expect it.
Settle in. Pour a drink, folks.
Wait, what are you drinking? We haven't talked about this. Well, we talked about it, but the people listening.
I want to hear about what you're having.
So I'm having a local, it's a, I think it's a Saison ale.
Shinzon?
Oh, I wish. Well, it's kind of, it's the color of his veins when they got all poppy. It's sort of so it's purple for one, so it's not a real beer really, but it's got those butterfly pea blossoms in it that your gin had last time. And it's got a little bit of lavender in it as well. So it's just a nice summer. I do feel pretty calm right now. It's probably that mushroom I ate from my backyard. And you are having?
An old-fashioned. Yeah. So it's a sugar cube, a maraschino cherry, bourbon whiskey, some bitters.
Nice. God, I love maraschino cherries.
Right?
And I also like those cherries that you bake with that are like super sticky and you can get them in like a plastic container.
Oh, yeah. Or they're green too.
Yeah. I love that shit.
So natural. Like wherever, if you have them on like a cutting board, that cutting board's going to have green spots and red spots forever.
Yeah,
it's like turmeric.
Gone. Yeah. Oh, totally. So many of my wooden utensils are yellow now.
Yeah.
Fail. Oh, classic. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Well, get ready for a Q episode.
No.
Yeah. Tagus 3. Picard is getting ready to provide the keynote address during an event down on that planet. He's working hard in his ready room to finalize the lecture when Troy enters in her GD onesie, looking amazing, and making me feel bad about myself, which is compounded by me eating chips while watching the episode. Fuck.
Always.
Yeah. Troy says it's too bad that outsiders aren't allowed to visit the planet's ruins. Picard has spent a lot of time learning about the various archaeological expeditions in the planet's history. He enters his quarters, still playing on his little iPad. Then the room dims. He sets the iPad down. His attention is turned to a tiki sculpture. Vash, some harlot he has a history with from Ryza, is standing in his bedroom door. She kisses him after making some absurd joke about coming in through the window. Fuck you. Cut to Picard serving tea. Turns out Vash is a member of the Archaeology Council who basically stalked Picard down to Tegas 3. The doorbell rings, and Crusher and Vash face off. So Crusher and Picard, for people who don't know, they always have their breakfast together.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. Picard introduces her as Beverly and then quickly reverses course, calling her Dr. Crusher. What is she going to write in her diary about that?
Mm-hmm. Something's up.
Oh, fuck. Both women throw shade at each other, which makes me very happy to know that we're just as fucking catty in the future as we are in the present. Way to behave. Way Never to change. Lift each other up. Never change. Riker is in 10 forward, drinking what looks like a Kool-Aid. He is eyeing up Vash and starts to hit on her. She calls him out on it and references that Picard either uses his pickup lines on her or makes fun of his. Vash is slightly irked that Picard hasn't mentioned her to any of his staff. I think it's maybe because she isn't worth mentioning. Mm-hmm. Like maybe she's a starfish or something. Burn.
Harsh. True.
I know. She just looks like she wouldn't put in the fucking effort. Vash sits in Picard's chair on the bridge, including putting her friggin' feet up on it. And I'm just like, stop. He comes out of his ready room and he's like, the fuck? And then they say that they'll see each other at the reception. Everyone on the bridge is picturing Picard in his birthday suit. Or maybe it's just me. At the reception, Vash is wearing necklaces that fall... I have to do that again. At the reception, Vash is wearing I'm not even drunk. This sucks. At the reception, Vash is wearing earrings that fall into a necklace. Worth repeating 3 times? No. Not at all.
It's like doing my stupid drink video twice. I'm not even going to post this. This is a waste of my time.
I hate myself. Nice legs for a human. Oh, remember when Dorn? Yeah, I was like, I would pay Michael Dorn up to and including $50 for him to say that to me. That's in Canadian dollars, Dorn. I have it in my wallet. Let's go right now.
It's red, and if you scratch it, it smells like maple syrup. You want this $50 bill.
You can see through it in one section. It's cool.
You can't rip it.
No, and you can wash it. Vash is like, why haven't you told anybody about us? As if she's in some serious relationship with him. Picard is like, because I don't want to tell people my shit. Deal with it. Yeah. Picard returns to the ship, and upon entry to his ready room, Q is sitting in his chair.
Oh,
how about a big hug? Yay!
Yay!
My good God, Q has got to be my favorite character. Sorry, bearded Riker. Wesley who? The weird energy cloud from that one episode? Ugh, I'm a Q girl now. They banter back and forth, and Q says that he could bring Picard to the ruins. Picard's curiosity is piqued. Q changes into a safari sort of adventurer outfit.
Brian Fellows.
I take a minute to recover from that. Picard asks Q to leave and beckons Riker to his ready room. He mentions his concern that Q wants to do something nice for him. Riker says he'll alert the crew.
Oh boy.
I know. Picard visits Vash's quarters and she acts all pissy, and Picard feels obligated to apologize about not telling people about her. Turns out that she's super into the archaeological ruins. And then Picard takes some ancient tools used to dig and says that they have to be confiscated because in the future there are no better tools to conduct a dig, apparently. They have words, and Picard leaves. In bed, Picard is visited by Q. Q berates him about being manipulated by a woman. By the way, I have to say that there is a fantastic book by Peter David where Q and Loxana get together. It is a real melding of the powers of the universe. I loved it. Also, IQ is a really good book too, written by Peter David and John Delancey. Peter David does most of the Trek novels that I like. Mm-hmm. I just like his writing style. Anyway, I was typing this and not paying attention, but I expect that Picard said something and Q responded with, "As you wish," which will mean that they'll start the Robin Hood stuff soon, which is all I care about. Now, in my youth, I remembered this episode being all Robin Hood all the time, so I'm like kind of disappointed that it's taken this long to get there. And then my note, okay, yay, it's happening.
Dear Diary, it's happening.
I know. Picard practices his keynote speech on the ship, and the participants start to be clad in Robin Hood outfits, and then they're transported to Robin Hood land. Picard is Robin Hood.
Sure,
Riker is Little John. Yeah. Data is Friar Tuck. Ha ha. Worf. My favorite quote of this episode and top 10 of this series. Sir, I protest. I am not a merry man. This is what I say every day when I go into the office. Worf and some guy on a horse fight, and everyone retreats, but Worf is still hungry for blood. In the distance, a horse whinnies, and Q shows up all handsome and shit. He's the sheriff of Nottingham. He says Marianne's head, Vash's head, will come off at noon tomorrow. And then I answered a text, and then I caught the last part of the scene where Q basically says, don't you dare come to Nottingham Castle or else. Vash continues to be a bitch. I'm not sure why I hate her. Maybe it is because she is a giant slut.
No shaming.
Sorry.
That's jealousy talking.
It is. Call it what it is. Meanwhile, Geordi is playing his lute or whatever, and Worf cannot take it. He smashes it against a tree trunk. I think his leggings are maybe too tight. For him, not for me. Troy attempts to hit a tree with her bow and arrow, but the arrow impacts Data just above the 6 intercostal support, which thankfully didn't impact his biometric function.
Oh, thank God.
Marion has promised... Yeah, I know. Marion has promised some guy named Sir Guy to be his wife. Like, okay, we get it. You're a male, Sir Guy. Oh. I think it's to stop her from being executed. Her motives are so transparent. Picard tries to spring Marion / Vash, and she's just not interested. She's like, I'll find my own way to escape instead of going with you right now. Sir Guy shows up, and Vash pulls a sword on Picard. Q finds out that Vash is trying to jump across the kingdom, so he calls for a double execution.
No.
I know. Then some other things happen. Picard says Vash shouldn't have interfered like most women do. Like, to the very end, she's a fucking thorn in everyone's side. There are only 8 minutes left, and I don't think this is going to end the way I want. Riker and Geordi and the rest are disguised as watchers at the execution. Data fools around with some crap in his forearm and makes a big explosion that distracts everyone. Patrick Stewart's stunt double gets some valuable screen time during a fight. Crusher knocks a guy unconscious and looks too happy for it to have been any other result than what she expected. Q is eating a non-disarticulated chicken wing. Picard stabs Sir Guy to death. I wonder to myself how many people Picard has killed, directly or indirectly. According to the internet, the number is 40. I wonder how he sleeps at night.
Oh, dark turn.
Yeah. Picard and Vash tell Q that Picard has come out of this experience a better man. Q is like, I'm outie. Everyone is back in the briefing room, except for Vash. Crusher asks where Vaush is.
Burn.
I know. She shows up on his couch in Picard's ready room, and it's revealed that Vash is a Q, I think.
More like Rosh.
Right? Anyway, the rest of the episode is boring. The end.
I'm pretty confident that she's not a Q. I think it's that she's made a contract with Q. Like, they're dating now. And he's going to flip her around the world and travel.
I thought that he gave her the powers of the Q, but I guess he can make her appear and disappear or whatever.
I don't know, actually. Well, that's a good question.
I guess we weren't really paying attention.
Well, if it's just her on the screen, do I need to see anymore?
I know, agree. Is Vash a Q?
She had no reason to be so snippy at the beginning. It's like, if my boss told me about his one-night stand on vacation, I'd be like, this is inappropriate, boss. Like, and that's what happened. Totally. What does she think?
Yeah.
There ain't no ring. It ain't a thing.
I'm just looking right now. Maria Alpha saying Q. Q is curious about her, so he offers her a chance to accompany him to explore the universe. Right. And Picard's like, "Oh, you probably shouldn't." And then she's like, "I will, though.
I'm going to try to make you jealous by hanging out with Q now."
Yeah.
Okay, bye. See ya.
Don't trip on your way out. Like, okay, bye. He's already like calling up Crusher.
Oh, it's time for breakfast. Oh, how do you like your eggs in the morning?
Yeah.
Over easy.
Oh. What?
I said over easy. True.
Sorry, Dad.
Should we discuss the episode, or do you want to break it up with some facts and notes first?
You go ahead and tell me your thoughts. I didn't really prepare thoughts on the episode. I feel like I kind of captured in the synopsis with my one-off comments.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly
maybe I'll trigger something.
Being a bitch. Okay. Trigger warning. Sorry, that's not funny. It's not funny.
In this world, no.
No.
This isn't 2005.
No, I know. Jeez.
Those were the days. I don't know what happened. Okay. First off, Bill and Dan said it was to see it. Both of them said see it. So this is the first time we're going to see it. And so thank God, because else there was going to be problems. We were going to we'll find their phone numbers and call them up live on the show. Okay, my thoughts. Troy and Crusher looked so gorgeous in costume because they didn't have so much 90s hair and makeup to take away from their natural beauty. Like when they're in their
are so pretty.
They're so pretty. And I always especially find that with Gates McFadden's character of Crusher, they always did really crazy things with the hair and that 90s brown makeup with the harsh cheekbones and stuff. I'm like, no. Like they both looked so good in this episode because they were like cute little costumes running around and doing their thing.
Yeah.
Loved the arrow into Data and the smashing of the instrument. I mean, those are just such iconic everything. I remember those so well.
Yeah.
I loved how curious Dr. Crusher was of Vash and just wanted to like that whole scene was so like so real. Like that doesn't matter what century we're in, that's still a behavior that people will have. And it's like, just pure curiosity too about someone they know nothing about because he's so private. So any chance that they have. The executioner was a babe. The executioner is always a babe. Big muscly arms with a hood.
Yeah. Yep.
When Riker and LaForge disrobed to help rescue everyone at the end, I was like, oh my God, it's like the Thunder from Down Under at the Excalibur Hotel because they're in like Excalibur clothing and they're like, I just remember laughing. Like, yes, I noticed like what you said is that Crusher looked so happy to get that guy. She had total bloodlust.
Yeah, she's like, yes!
I noticed that Picard, in all of the scenes where he was kissing, his eyes were open and I was like, I don't like that. That bugs me. Don't just close your eyes. What I would take up an offer. Oh yeah, I was with Vash getting the offer from Q to like explore and stuff. I wrote in my notes, I would take up any offer Q gave me. Want to spend a year living as a slug in an outhouse with me? Yes. So those are my thoughts. And I think we have some facts and notes here. I'll start.
Yeah. Okay.
While filming a fight with the castle guard, Jonathan Frakes was injured from the stuntman's sword after it broke through the Little John quarterstaff, and he had to be taken to the hospital in his Robin Hood era clothing.
Frakes, how embarrassing.
I know. Frakes later remarked how funny it was, though, that no one in the Hollywood hospital thought it was a weird thing to have happened, because they probably see it all the time with like stuntmen. You?
That's cute. Yeah. Ironically, Marina Sirtis and Gates McFadden were the only members of the cast that were trained in sword fighting, yet only the men were allowed to use swords. Classic. They already have swords. Pork swords.
I haven't heard that term since I saw Juno.
I know.
The scene where Worf grabs the mandolin from Geordi and smashes it against a tree is a takeoff of the scene from National Lampoon's Animal House, where John Belushi's character grabs the guitar from the folk singer on the stairs of the frat house and smashes it against the wall. He then sheepishly apologizes for his actions, as does Worf.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Neither have I. It's pretty iconic, but I've never seen it.
No. Wait, I have to tell you about a movie that I just saw for the first time ever.
All right.
Ready?
Side stories.
Yeah, it's 3 words. You've got mail.
Oh!
I've never seen it.
Yeah. It's cute.
It's cute. It's also...
I remember it. I remember Sleepless in Seattle much better.
I haven't seen that, but
It's good. I recently watched it for the first time since it like came out, and I was like, "This is cute."
Cool. Yeah. You've Got Mail was less cute because it was about this guy who like ends up lying to this girl because he knows that she doesn't like him, but they've been conversing over email and they don't know who each other is, and he finds out that it's her, and then he kind of lies and manipulates her into like it could be easily like a horror movie, and so like we actually ended up watching those trailers that are turn like comedies into horrors, like Dumb and Dumber, Mrs. Doubtfire. Hello. Anyway,
yeah, the Mary Poppins one.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I've seen that one.
Super creepy. They could make it a horror
movie.
Yes. Or The Shining, and it's like a rom-com.
Oh yeah,
Shining. I love that one. Such a classic. If people have never heard of this, go on YouTube and look for like fake movie trailers, and they're so great.
People have talent, man. Like I love that. Okay. Sorry about that. Here's another
sidebar is good.
Yeah, here's another
fun fact.
Fast fact. Oh, that worked. The moment where Vaush stumbles while pacing in her Marion gown was not scripted. The actress actually tripped, but they kept it in because it was suggested that Vaush wasn't used to wearing long gowns. Who is? Are you still there?
Dead silence. Everyone's like, "Is my headphones broken?"
Who it? It'd be funny if we just kind of like cut out in the middle, like who it? We've been here the whole time. Everyone is just
in your face.
God.
All right.
Where's the bee? Fuck.
That was easy. Okay.
Oh, those grams. Oh, those golden grams. Crispy, crunchy graham cereal, brand new breakfast treat. Okay, go.
Can't get enough of that sugar. Okay.
You can never get enough.
As Robin Hood is about to be beheaded, Friar Spock attempts to create a distraction by throwing a device into a fire grate, but the object bounces a couple times and falls out of the grate through a hole at the bottom. I noticed it when I watched. He goes to throw it to like create the distraction, the thing he took out of his arm, and you see it just kind of fall out of the bottom of the prop, and you're like,
do you want to reshoot that? No.
I'm ready to go home.
Yeah. When Picard stabs Sir Guy, it is clear he is a stunt man.
Oh yeah, that's
classic. That happens.
I have a couple of would you rathers.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
You ready? Would you rather be the woman who has to be rescued by Picard, or be the woman helping kick ass to help save Picard's woman?
Well, the risk of being injured is probably higher if I were helping to rescue someone, or I could just fucking run away. No one's going to notice. Can't run away if I'm stuck in a castle. But the bonus of being in a castle is that there's presumably some food and water there and like a place to sit. Kind of lazy. So no, I'm going to help because I don't want to be rescued because I don't like the attention.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want people to waste their time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll waste my time.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do that all day long.
There you go.
Who would you rather? What would you rather?
I don't want to be the damsel in distress. I'd rather be kicking ass. That's just.
I wouldn't even be in distress. I'd just be like, oh.
If I was 16, I'd have a different answer. I want to be a princess in a castle and someone has to rescue me. And then you like grow up and realize like that's bullshit.
Yeah.
We're just bitter old women now. So it's
there's a reason
I'd rather just kill somebody, okay?
Yeah. I'd rather kill multiple people
I'd rather commit
than be on the lam.
Yeah. Thelma and Louise style. Would you rather be in the Robin Hood world or the Camelot world? Which was actually another option they considered for this episode.
Okay, so sorry.
Camelot was like the Knights of the Round Table, so it's kind of similar, but it's not really. I don't know. It's a shitty.
Did they didn't do that though for
Robin Hood. Robin Hood's completely different from the story of Camelot.
Yeah, do an episode using Camelot.
Yeah, would you rather be in Robin Hood or would you rather be in a different world like that? Like if you were going to be like thrown into something by Q.
I mean, I feel like the world of Robin Hood is like a little more jovial. I feel like Camelot's very like Knights of the Round Table, kind of King Arthur and the Stone. Yeah, fucking Merlin. We don't need Merlin distracting us while the fucking fire alarm's going off.
Well,
what about you? Wait, what about you?
Well, I had more to add to that question because I kind of realized that I wrote it in a weird way that I could actually amalgamate the two together. Because I was going to say, what other famous couple would you like to have been wrapped up in during a Q adventure? Romeo and Juliet, Sid and Nancy, Bonnie and Clyde, Tom Cruise and Renee Zellweger, and Jerry Maguire. You ever think of like a famous couple? Oh, classic.
And I don't know
what
anything
about sister whatever and Captain Von Trapp?
Oh my Lord!
Thank you. Good God, that
Auf Wiedersehen.
Adieu, adieu, adieu.
I would do.
Oh, love
that one.
That movie.
And then you could also just like sing with what's her face too.
Yeah. How do you solve a problem like Maria? Well, you kick her out of the way and you take over. That's what you do. You poison those blueberries or whatever. Yeah.
Good one.
Thank you. I think it'd be fun to kind of do like Bonnie and Clyde. That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. All right. So I have two things here. One that you know about and one that you don't know about. Our rewind section.
Rewind.
Actually, before we do that, what are we going to give this episode? Do you want to do a rating scale? Should we do a quick one?
Yeah, I want to do like 4 Maid Marian hats. I can't remember if she was wearing like a princess, like a big witch princess hat with like some tassels and shit. But I would do 4 of those. And while you're at it, throw a Q Brian Fellows Adventurer hat in there. And just the steaming sexual tension between Vash and Picard and Crusher and Picard and all the possibilities there.
There you go.
Can I just say?
Yeah.
This is why you do the ratings.
I give it 9 smashed loots and a merry Worf.
Aww.
Because he is a merry man.
He's a merry man. I love his little bob.
Nice
your hair.
Bob.
Nice bob.
Everybody hates your fucking bob. Okay, so for Rewind, one of the questions I was going to kind of ask you was about Star Trek memorabilia. If you have anything, if there's anything that you've always kind of wanted, tell me a little bit about your world of Star Trek memorabilia, whether it's from when you're a kid or whether it's stuff that you've got at conventions or things you've seen.
Well, I mean, we've been to so many conventions and like spend so much time in the vendor room that there's so much shit in there that I want, like one of everything, please. But in terms of what I do have, I don't have a huge collection of stuff, but I have a TNG mouse pad at work. I also have some Post-it notes that say resistance is futile.
Brilliant.
I have a really creepy porcelain mug that I used to keep on my piano for tips. It is of Riker's head.
Yes.
Somewhere I have a necklace with a Klingon symbol on it that you got me. I have a Voyager pin that I wear with my blazer. I have a disco t-shirt somewhere. I have a figure of Riker with trombone, also from you.
Tromboner.
What I used to have, so I used to have lots of clothes. So I used to have a pair of flared Starfleet Academy sweatpants that said Starfleet on the butt. And the gray hoodie that said Starfleet Academy holodeck hoverball. But I wore those to death. They were just like thin cotton, nothing left to the imagination. They're gone. I used to have a commemorative Riker plate, but I might have donated it when I moved. I can't remember. I don't think I would have, though, because it was so epic. It's probably in my storage. Also, I used to have the hoodie that I bought us, the Vulcan in the Streets, Klingon in the Sheets one, but I donated it because I was like, this is kind of vulgar to wear. Yeah.
I wore it to a party and everyone was like, that's the best hoodie I've ever seen.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't feel comfortable wearing it anymore.
Not even around the house?
Nah, I don't really wear hoodies.
I live in hoodies.
I know you love your hoodies. I also used to have like a framed like 4 foot by 3 foot poster of a cross section of the Enterprise D, and it was really cool to see like all the different floors, and it was all to scale. Like that was super cool. I had a bunch of like keychains and shit, and then like a bunch of other shit that I bought at the gift shop at the Experience and in the vendor room, like 1 billion autographs and stuff and photos that I think I also just donated. When I Marie Kondoed things, I was like, this did bring me joy, and now it will bring joy to someone else. I know. Yeah, go ahead.
What about the t-shirt that you had with the Enterprise that it said "She lives"? I just had a photo of you wearing that with the Worf mask, and I was like, that shirt was so rad.
That's back when I like would scour like boys, like at Valley Village. I'd go like find like boys t-shirts when I could fit into them, and "She lives" fucking like rainbow warp behind and that was like an Enterprise, like old school. That was such a rad shirt. "She lives." Fucking. So I've had like several of those. And then in terms of what I've always wanted, I've always wanted like a nice piece of like jewelry, like earrings or a ring, if my hands weren't so brutal looking. I'd like to try the Picard, like the Chateau Picard wine, but they don't ship to Canada. We can't go there now. Yeah. And then if TNG was ever taken off Netflix, I think I would buy the Blu-ray collection, but I would make sure, I would just make sure to like very carefully collect the discs for seasons 1 and 2 and just take a roll of sandpaper to them so as to not ever watch them again. Oh, harsh. Yeah. Nope. Love it. How about you? You've got such a nook going on. I do. But it's not just Trek. No, it's not. It's everything. I think I regret having gotten rid of what I had as a kid. When I was a kid, I had a Star Trek room. Like when I was 10, 11, 12, like this was what I did. Like we went to conventions as a family, and I had like all the action figures that came. It was the 90s, right? It was like Toys and Wheels in Mayfair. It was like the place to go for all of those TNG action figures. Wheels. Right? Yeah. And Hans Christian Andersen. Yep. And I had the whole like the big bridge to put all the action figures in, and I had like the ships, like the Enterprise, and I got Deep Space Nine action figures, and I got rid of all of them, and I kept a few things, but not much. You know, as you get to be a teenager and you have garage sales and you can sell stuff to make money to buy more stuff, like, okay. So I kind of regret that, but I still have some things from when I was a kid, like these little trading cards and stuff, which I really love. Cute. My dad seems to find stuff here and there, and I still have lots of stuff that we got when we were at the convention. I still have my magazines. Like I had the first issue of Star Trek Next Generation magazine and second issue, like, you know, some of the novels. I'm looking around at my Nook right now. I've got the Wesley edition. Yeah. I really wish I had bought the Borg mug that they had at the Experience. Like, I know that people had it and it broke and shattered, but it was so cool. It was like square, and like I wouldn't use it to drink. I would just have it as like a thing for like my pencils or something. Okay, really, but guess what, dude? What? I have that. You did. You still do. I use it at work for my pens, and I can attest the fucking bottom of it. It's like it's made out of paper mache. It just shattered everywhere. And there's no way. It's like not finished inside. I'm like, this is not something that you would drink out of ever. No. I also bought like a 6-pack of Romulan ale. I remember that. Yeah. I remember that. PBR. I wish I had the captain's chair dog bed too for Frank, because it's pretty rad. Aww, I remember seeing it when we were there in 2017 at the convention. I was like, I want that bed, but I think it's too small for him. He's pretty fat. He's a big boy. But the other thing I was going to say was I got to thinking about this today, and I was looking at some of the old videos of when we went to Star Trek Las Vegas, and somebody was tweeting about it, and I just said, I think I tweeted out being like, I really, really wish that I was just talking to Haley right now about our upcoming trip. Like, I'm so bummed we don't have an upcoming trip. Like, of course, the convention has since been moved to December, which we know and we talked about, and it's not probably going to happen. But I just remember being like that element of like, we would like book in January or February to go in August. And then
the things that we would do to get ready. And so I was going to be I know that I would make, and I'll get into this a little bit more in detail after you share your stuff, but spreadsheets. I'll talk about the spreadsheets. But I remember one thing we always did would we do like a shop together to Walmart to get like, you know, our bathroom stuff, our makeup, and we would like get together and do our nails and like plan our outfits and like, tell me a little bit about what you remember of the planning of STLV.
I also remember that we had like a countdown, and the countdown sometimes started like 3-4 months in advance.
Yeah, 100 days.
And we'd be like, holy shit, there's 73 more sleeps. Yeah. And just like celebrating the milestones and talking about all the fun stuff that we did while we were there the last year, and just getting excited about the things that we wanted to do and what order. And like somehow by the grace of God, we both were like these crazy organized people that loved structure. And so your itineraries where it was like, we will wake up at this time, we will be downstairs at this time, we catch the monorail at this time, we go to McDonald's and have 7 hash browns and a Gatorade. And then like just everything about it. And then snacks, like you'd always have like a fucking thing of stone wheat thins for the hotel. You know, you got to have those dry crackers when you're after you've had two drinks and you're hammered because you're young. And 2
rosés from the Resort Club Lounge.
Oh, the Resort Club.
Can we talk about Resort Club Lounge again? I know we've done this before in depth, but fuck, I love that place.
That place, it's like everybody knew your name. Nancy Grace, always on the TV.
Just
doesn't matter what time.
Shouting into the mic.
Yeah, you're the child. And then like all the free newspapers you could ever want. You could just get like a spoon of nuts, or like plain rippled chips, and then like muffins, and then realizing that you could just fucking take your like a bottle of wine like out of the ice bucket and be like, this is mine now.
Claimed, I sneezed on it, it's mine.
Yeah. And just like overlooking the city on like the 11th floor or whatever it was. I can't remember, 14th floor, doesn't matter. The floor that Barry Manilow lived on. And God, yeah, it was so cool. It was just so nice.
It was such a treat.
We felt so high roller.
I know. This is what it's like. No, it's not. It's way better for the real people. I remember my itineraries, I think as every year progressed, they got so much more detailed. Like I would spend hours, I would color code it. And then I would wait until like the week before we left, because that's when they would actually release the actual schedule. Yeah. And then there'd be like the pain of like so-and-so canceled or so-and-so got added last minute. And then you're like looking at their schedule being like, oh my God, this is when we're supposed to go to the Ross, but this is when we get our photo with Zachary Quino. And then it's like, you know, the math about how long it takes to get from the hotel to the monorail to the store, to cross the street over at Caesar's Palace, to run past the guy dressed up as Barney that you want to punch in the nuts, you know, and then there's the parties last minute. And then there's the people that you meet that are like, we're doing a party and then we're doing this. And it's like, oh God, like I loved organizing, like, you know, now I like to do trips a little bit more fly by the seat of your pants, but if there's like things that you need to see and you don't want to miss, it's like, and then like half the time we'd be like, screw it. By Friday or Saturday, we're like, I'm just going to sit and get drunk and hang out with people because we're like, I don't care if I see this on stage anymore. We're so over it.
I know. Well, and remember we were there for like 1 week and like 7 days or 6 nights and 7 nights. I can't remember. And like the last day we were so fucking done that we just watched Law and Order for like 6 hours.
Yes.
I just remember, and I love like, I was thinking about this the other day because I was thinking about counting steps and like how usually like I do like 25,000 steps or something a day in Vegas. And just like the first day where you walk around and you're all excited and then, you know, you go to sleep and you get up in the middle of the night to pee or something and like you put your feet on the ground and it's just like, oh God, I can't put any weight on these. Like, what have I done? I'm never going to be able to walk again. I think we both like sat on the edge of the tub, like with our feet in, like trying to like soak and be like, are we going to be okay?
I know. It's like, what? It's like you bring all these like cute outfits and cute accessories. And by like day 2, you're like, fuck it. It's too fucking hot. Yeah. I'm wearing the same thing. My makeup is melting off my face. My flats are like no arch support. Like now I would be there with like cross trainer Nikes with a ankle brace.
Yep.
My ankle full time, a back brace, and I got a fucking fanny pack full of like pain medication, chapstick, and hand sanitizer. And I'll be like, whatever, like
sunscreen.
This is 40, man. Like I'm just like all about
it's
feeling
true.
good, not looking good. It's not about how I look, it's about how I feel.
Look, it's how I feel. Remember when we were like on this health kick, but not really, but we wanted to be, and we were like, let's pack our sneakers. We'll get up at 5. We'll go for a run before it gets really hot. And then it'll be like 7:00. We'll shower, get ready, have breakfast.
Meanwhile, I'm puking up.
World?
I know, I'm like throwing up like dry ice and blue dye after a warp core breach. It's like toxic.
Oh, it's not safe.
Another holy ring of Beta Z just came up.
I remember being at the Quinto breakfast, and after the whole shenanigans about it being like an hour early, but it was wrong on the schedule, and I was like, what the fuck? And we weren't ready, and we had both been, we had gone for it the night before, and I just remember looking at my plate, and it was like 2 bagels and just hash browns. I was like, this is what I need right now. And I just didn't have any time for anyone on the panel. I'm like, why did we pay for this?
I know, especially because we came off of the Klingon lunch with like the best experience of our lives. Like that was like, we had the table of like, I think there was a guy at our table that was from New York, and it was the first time I'd ever talked to somebody from New York, and he had a strong New York accent. And I was like, I love this guy. And that poor security girl, she gave us that bottle of wine, and there's Dorn and all of them on stage, and it was just like so epic. And then we go to that where we're just like, oh God. I was like, because I cared so much about how I looked back then. Like I had to straighten my hair, and I had to do the makeup, and I had to do like, now I'd be like, I don't give a fuck. Like this is my cosplay. Okay, I'm tired. I'm a tired Starfleet.
I know.
Officer. It's my cosplay.
It was a whole thing.
Oh no, you froze. Oh, this is the first live on Rewind.
Yes, to the airport and on the plane. Oh no.
Oh, we had a glitch in the Matrix. No, you're good. My internet connection is unstable.
I
guess we're gonna have to wrap this up pretty soon.
We should. I have to pee.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. So anyway, that was what I wanted to talk about, was that whole build up for STLV, because we're not going obviously this year.
Yeah.
So it's like, I miss that kind of excitement of the emails of like, guess what just got announced, or guess what I'm going to buy, or I'd plan my whole wardrobe. This is what I'm going to wear, and like laying it all out and trying to like just make it so. And I have so many videos where I was counting down. I'm like, it's the day of the trip. Psych, it's still 80 days away, and I'm like, making videos about it. I'm going to look at those. Maybe I'll see if I can post them on the Twitter.
Yeah, good idea. On the Twitter.
Right. On the Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, here's our social media shut down for the night. Do you like podcasts? Do you like Star Trek? We are part of a network called Trek Geeks that has so many awesome podcasts, like the one coming soon for Lower Decks. It's part of Discovering Trek. Or there's something coming soon, Science Station, a Star Trek and science podcast. There's Politics, there's Game Night, there's 5-Year Mission. 5-Year Mission, they do music. They did music for us. Thank you so much, 5-Year Mission. If you like these podcasts, you want more details, you can become a Patreon subscriber, and you can get all that information on trekgeeks.com. There's also links to fan sets. Facebook. Trek Geeks is on Facebook. There's also their Camp Kittimer, a very positive place to get involved and talk Trek. And on Twitter, we're there, Trek Rewind. And speaking of rewind, you can use the word rewind in caps locks for 15% off on fan sets. And there's that's it, because we're not on Instagram. We're just on Twitter. Yeah. But we love it. I love it. I love Twitter. So tweet me. And thanks to everybody who's been super kind and said really nice things about how much they like the podcast and how funny they think we are. I don't think
that's so funny. Nice.
I think that we're not funny at all. We should do a Stephen Wright type. Anyway, that was fucking lame.
Got it.
Okay. What do we want to do?
Let's do the ghost sex one. Ghost sex.
Rosa.
Ghost sex. Ghost sex. Ghost sex. Perfect.
I love it.
Awesome.
Hey, this was fun.
I can't wait.
I'm gonna watch
it was fun. So good to see you too.
You too. I might watch that episode this weekend coming up, or this week. It's a good one.
That sounds nice. Yeah.
Cool.
Do it.
All right, darling, my love. You have a wonderful night.
2
Enjoy
thumbs
those green
up.
beans. 2 thumbs up.
Ew.
Yep.
Yeah,
Boom.
thanks.
That was easy.
Enjoy those prawn kebabs.
Oh, I will. To infinity.
Bet you can't eat just one. What? Early.
Bye.
London drugs.
Coconut.